everybody, Mountain Grandma here. Today I'm going to take you along with me while I make these 7 different bath and body products. And this is part of the Gift from Home collaboration hosted by Tina over at Life in the Piedmont. We're going to be making hand soap and a couple of different bar soaps, as well as bath tea, some room spray, some body oil, and a sugar and salt scrub. And I'm going to be starting it out with the liquid hand soap, which is super easy to make. All of this, you guys, only took me about 2 hours to make the whole gift box setup that you see here. Let's get started. All right, so for the hand soap, we're starting with about 500 milliliters or almost 2 cups of an unscented shower gel or body wash base. It doesn't matter which it is. And by the way, this could also be shower gel that you're making, but that's okay. We're going to do hand soap because how fun is it to have a special scented hand soap that you couldn't buy at any store? The scent I'm using is called mistletoe. It screams Christmas, but likewise, it could be lavender or any other kind of scent that you're wanting to go with as a theme for your gift basket. So we're putting in 9 milliliters, which is about 1.5% ratio for this. And then once you get it stirred up, that's really all there is to it. I do want to make one point here. If you heat up your shower gel, put it in the microwave at about 30 seconds before you add your fragrance. It's going to help the fragrance bond better, and it's also going to make it easier to pour. So you stir it up, pour it into your container, and voila, one gift ready to go. Now, on to the next one. All right, so I'm starting with this detergent-free coconut melt and pour soap base, and I've got it all melted up by putting it in the microwave at different 20-second bursts and stirring in between. And then I'm adding this cute little white diamond sparkle mica soap color block that you see here. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's got all kinds of little sparkles in it. So that way my end soap would be white and sparkly. I put that in there and get it melted. And then you see me adding in my fragrance oil. I'm putting in 15 milliliters of the fragrance to that, and that's about a 3% solution because I've got 500 milliliters of my soap base that's melted. At this point, you get it all stirred up so that it's blended well, and then you're ready to go ahead and pour it into your soap molds. And I'm using cute little snowflake soap molds that you see here. When you pour that in, the next thing you got to remember to do is spray the top of your melt and pour soap with alcohol. That prevents any of the bubbles. Let it set, and then here you go. Aren't those adorable? And always remember, with melt and pour soap, you've got to make sure you wrap it up. So you'll see that middle shiny big one there. I've got that wrapped with saran wrap, and you just kind of tape it on the back. Otherwise, your melt and pour soap will attract moisture and it'll get little droplets on it. And you don't want that. All right, let's move on. All right, next thing we're going to make is our bath tea. And I'm going to be starting with 4 ounces of Epsom salt that I had in this empty fragrance oil bottle. If ever you have a fragrance oil or essential oil bottle that runs out, don't just set the empty aside. Fill it with Epsom salt first. It'll absorb all the little droplets that are in there, which makes it so much easier for cleaning. Plus, you've now got a fragranced Epsom salt to work with later. So that's what we're doing. We've got 4 ounces of Epsom salt here. And then look, now it's going to be all you do to clean it is rinse it out with hot water, and it's so easy to clean. You don't have an oil to contend with anymore. All right, so with this 4 ounces of Epsom salt, we're adding in about 2 ounces of pink Himalayan salt. And there's no magical recipe to this, to be honest. You could put together all kinds of things. I'm also putting in some coconut milk powder that I had. And I've got this powdered coconut oil that I bought that's also supposed to be really good and healthy to add to your coffee and stuff like that. But I'm adding it into my bath tea. You could even put baking soda. Baking soda is amazing in a bath tea. I didn't add any of that this time, but you could add something like that. Whatever your heart desires. Just, you want a combination of powders and salts and some herbs. And look at that. Isn't that pretty? Now for the herbs, we're going to be putting in some peppermint leaves and you see me adding that here. I do not need to add a fragrance oil to that. I already had wonderful smelling Epsom salts, and those peppermint leaves are going to add fragrance as well. So I'm mixing all of this up, and then I'm going to add it into these little organza bags. And the best thing about the organza bags is your person you're giving it to, they just put the whole bag in their tub or their foot bath, because that way it prevents a big cleanup with the herbs, right, from the bathtub and whatnot. So then I've got this cute little box to put it in, and voila, it's going to be great for our gift basket. On to the next one. All right, next up is our room spray, and it really doesn't get any easier than this. I've got a little 4-ounce bottle here. You could use any bottle that you might have, and we're going to add in some fragrance oil to that at a 5% solution. So for this 4-ounce bottle, I'm going to put in 6 milliliters of fragrance, and I'm using that same fragrance. It's going to be that mistletoe fragrance, which screams Christmas. So add your 6 milliliters in, and then all you do is pour vodka in with that, or witch hazel if you have that. Put your lid on, and voila, there's another gift. Let's move on. All right, the next thing we're going to be making is our bath oil, and I'm going to use these cute little containers that you see here. I repurposed these from this Truvia liquid sweetener. So use what you have. And they're also like the perfect color for the theme of the basket I'm making. And I've got my oil already poured, but what I've put in there is a blend of argan oil and grapeseed oil. And the grapeseed oil is a really fast absorbing oil, as is like an apricot kernel oil. A hazelnut oil is also fast absorbing. And I mixed it with the argan oil, which is a medium absorption oil. Likewise, so is sweet almond, jojoba oil, and even your olive oil. If you wanted to use some olive oil from the kitchen, that's medium absorption as well. You want to balance out a fast absorbing oil with a medium or a heavy oil like avocado oil, just so that when you make your final ingredient, it doesn't turn out too greasy. So I've got my oil. I'm going to warm it up just a tad in the microwave at about like a 20-second burst in there. And then I'll add in my fragrance oil. Now my fragrance I'm using, you'll notice it has usage amounts right here. So it tells you what's safe. This is like your FIFRA information. If your oil does not have this, you need to look it up online from the supplier you purchased it from, or look up for your essential oil what's safe. So for this body oil, which would be kind of like the lotion kind of thing, it shows 1 to 2%. I'm actually only going to put in 1.25% ratio, which means I'm adding 2.5 milliliters. Once I add that in, I stir it up well, and then poof, you're ready to like pour this into your bottles at this point. And it's going to make such a cute addition to the gift basket. This is such a quick and easy and well-loved gift. Like everybody loves this. So there we go. Now let's move on to the next one. All right, so next up is our salt and sugar scrub, and I'm starting with 2 ounces of coconut oil. I do like a coconut oil for a salt and sugar scrub just because it's sturdier at room temperature. So I've melted that a little bit, and you see some chunks in there, but that's okay. It'll all get squished up. I'm going to add to that 2 ounces of an unscented shower gel. And if you don't have the shower gel, that's perfectly fine. Just keep in mind, if you don't have the shower gel, and you're only going to do 2 ounces of coconut oil, you will need less of the sugar and salt. A good ratio is up to 10 ounces of sugar and salt combined for each 2 ounces of oil or liquid. So we get that all stirred up, and then I'm going to go ahead and start adding in the pink Himalayan salt and the sugar. And you want your salt to be a fine pink Himalayan salt, because that way it's more, closely in resemblance to the sugar granule size, in my opinion. Though if you went with like a small size, that's fine also. But I do like pink Himalayan salt in there mixed in with it. I think it just makes it prettier. You could also use food coloring if you wanted to color this. I'm just not a food coloring fan, so I didn't do that. But I've got it all added in there, and I'm mixing it up to a good consistency. And then you're going to see me separating this into different containers, because what I'm going to do is, in part of it, I'm going to add in some peppermint leaves to help contribute to the scent, and then also because I think it just adds a little extra something. I could have put in like green food coloring and red food coloring. That would have been adorable, but I'm not a food coloring person. So I mixed this all up, and at this point I'm thinking to myself, oh shoot, I forgot to put in a fragrance. Now it does smell a little pepperminty, but it wasn't smelling as strong as I had hoped. So I added in less than 1 milliliter of fragrance to each group of sugar scrub that you see here. So I didn't put much in at all because I didn't really want it that strong. But when I got all of those blended up, then the next thing that you're going to see me doing is adding this into the little container, kind of alternating a little bit, one to the other, so it's a little alternated. And then that's literally all there is to it. Put your lid on it, and voila, you've got another little gift to add to your Christmas gift basket. All right, and before I show you the final product, I do want to mention that my basket is just a box that's had the top cut off of it, and I wrapped it in some Christmas gift wrapping paper and kind of folded it up like that to tape everything on the inside, and then just put some tissue paper on the inside of it. Do watch if you have paper that should only go in one direction, because I had to do some correcting on that on the side. But here we go. I'm super happy with how everything turned out, and it didn't take a whole lot of time, and it was a lot of fun. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video and that you'll go check out the other great gifting ideas in this collaboration. And until I see you next time, everyone, remember, keep your joy, folks.